is where it all begins. The leap of faith, the first step to the journey towards the unknown, the challenging, the daunting. But when we're together, hand in hand, the journey becomes exciting. We're partners, you and I, together, facing your fears, pursuing your passion, breaking boundaries, building your future, overcoming challenges, celebrating every achievement. When we're together, we're unstoppable. When we're together, anything is possible. At BTN, we know the power of partnership. A good partner works with you intimately. A good partner knows what you need. A good partner always has your back. The partner for starting your dream family, building your dream home, realizing the dream. It takes courage to begin, but it takes encouragement to keep on going. So go on, dream big. We're with you every step of the way. You have a partner in BTN.
Failed multiple times to win definitely isn't something that easy to accept, but the regret and sadness aren't the choices. Don't focus on the failure, but focus on the purpose. Do your best. The real knights are those who get up and work hard. Unite the spirit, unite our heart to reach our dreams. Always remember, result never betray the process. All night, let's rise and fight for Indonesia.
Connect consistently. That's going to force Watkins outside the paint and open up the lane for the penetration of Winston Shepherd.
And the visitors get the first possession. Westports Malaysia Dragons in red and the purple jerseys belonging to the CLS Knights as we are underway here at the Gor Kertajaya Gymnasium in Surabaya, Indonesia. There's a give and go play immediately coming off the post for the Westports Malaysia Dragons, and that ball movement early has to be there for this squad.
Usual initiation off the horn set, going to Egu in the post, and then Chin cutting to the basket. So I like how they try to share the basketball. You're talking about the worst team in terms of sharing the basketball, only averaging about 14 assists per ball game.
Right.
Because of the ball dominance of Winston Shepherd primarily. So if they can share the ball more, get the others involved here, get the local support going, they're going to be very competitive here against the Knights.
Chin Cheng-hua knocking down the first 2 free throws of the game. It is 2-zip in favor of the Westports Malaysia Dragons. Doug Herring always methodically bringing the ball down. Herring averaging close to a triple-double. Lob pass inside. Maxi Esho in trouble. Gets it outside to Watkins. They move it around. Esho for 3. And the key here also for the BTN CLS Knights is their outside shooting in this building.
That is correct. For the BTN CLS Knights, they average about 36%, third best in the league.
Wow.
But in their last loss against the Singapore Slingers, only managed 6 3-pointers in that game. As Nana Egu hits that turnaround from the baseline.
So it's a good start here for the Westports Malaysia Dragons, getting the first 4 points of the game as we approach a minute gone by here in the first. Very patient offense being shown by the Wards of Brian Rousem. However, there's a pick by Eversley and into the front court, sidestepping and getting it to go. Wow.
That's 6 unanswered points, possibly 7 for the Dragons. And you see Coach Jamie Perman loving the intensity, loving the defense of his squad to start this first quarter.
Eversley in the open court, as dangerous as anybody here in the league, and he's got a 3-point play opportunity. And looks like the Westports Malaysia Dragons heeding your call here, Marco Benitez, off to a very good start.
In their last victory against the CLS Knights, which was actually their last win before 4 straight, you had 4 players from Westports Malaysia Dragons hitting double figures, together with Jonathan Wong scoring 22 points. So they're going to need all-around scoring from everybody, from the regular guys, to really get a win here in Gorkut Jaya.
3-pointer by Jawato doesn't work at the 6th man, which is the crowd here at Gorkut Jaya, getting to work early, trying to support the Knights. Still scoreless in this one, with 8.5 to play here in the first. Eversley looking for a friend, getting it now to Nana Egu. Egu against Watkins. This is the matchup that we want to see in the post. Egu gets it out again to Eversley. 6 to shoot now for the Dragons. Eversley puts it up, and that is way off.
That's a tough shot, well defended there. And you see Chris Eversley a little tentative, putting the ball on the floor, attacking Esho off the dribble.
Drive by Jawato and a great feed going over to Daryl Watkins.
CLS Knights averaging about 20.3 assists per ball game. So you know this is a team that likes to share the basketball, likes to find open teammates and better opportunities inside.
Finally got a score. A little over 2 minutes gone by here in the first. A little bit of a problem there for Chin, and it appears it could be a turnover. It will be a turnover against the Dragons.
So Jamie Perman asking for a holding foul, but turnovers will also be one of the keys here, as the Knights love to force turnovers because of their strong backcourt of Herring and Wong Wei Long. They put a lot of pressure on the perimeter of opposing teams.
Drive by Esho, and he gets it to go.
Maxi Esho can hurt you so many ways, from the outside, from the inside. Those long strides of his, so dangerous.
And he cuts the lead down to 2, so this is now 4 unanswered for the Knights, and it's thrown away again by the Dragons. Agwu's going to track it down, but it will be a backing violation, and the ball goes back to the Knights.
Yeah, it's going to be very challenging for Winston Shepherd, especially if he cannot get as much traction on the floor to attack the defense one-on-one without using a ball screen. So far the defense of the Knights up to task there.
Here's Esho, Wong Wei Long, catch and shoot 3, off the glass, how about that?
Wong Wei Long, one of the best three-point shooters in the league, averaging 44% from that distance.
He's actually the best three-point shooter in league history. Dragons want to get that one back. All of a sudden the Knights answer with a 7-zip run of their own as Eversley goes to Chin. Chin puts it on the floor. Chin is trapped. Chin forces it up off the glass, and the rebound cleared by Jawato.
Nobody there to get the second chance opportunity as Jawato.
Oh! Sudden burst of speed there, Marco.
And that is what you do not want to have, but that's poor transition defense there on the part of the Dragons, and the Knights have multiple guys who can attack and put the ball on the floor and attack in transition.
Brandon Jawato just showing us the meaning of aggression early. This guy came off 2 knee surgeries before joining The BTN CLS Knights showing no sign of any wear and tear on his knee. And now we have the Dragons trying to get it back. Shepard, Egwu, Chin using the screen. Chin puts it up, it's good.
And look how Daryl Watkins is cheating on defense. Since he is the guy of the screener, he is parking in the lane. Nice job there by Chin to hit that 17-footer.
And again, the local support for the Westports Malaysia Dragons will also be very key in this game as Esho hits it from downtown.
That's a beautiful play there. Again, coming off the aggressiveness of Brandon Jawato, attacking the defense, drawing the man of Esho towards him, and then finding Esho for the open three.
12-2 run ongoing for the BTN CLS Knights. That pass is too high even for Shaquille O'Neal.
Another wayward pass resulting into a turnover there. Actually a tough angle, Noel, for Chris Eversley to try to hit Nana Egwu on the opposite post.
And suddenly, after a great 6-0 start, the Dragons starting to struggle.
Three turnovers already.
Jawato taking it strong again, this time a little too aggressive. And the rebound picked up by Wong, as Jonathan Wong.
So on one end of the floor, you have the Westports Malaysia Dragons being limited to one attempt per possession, while you have Daryl Watkins crashing the offensive glass, winning second chance opportunities.
Watkins hands it over now to Esho. Esho can't turn the corner. Wraparound pass going to Doug Herring, who hangs in the air. Tip in, not good yet for Watkins, and here comes Eversley. Chance for the Dragons to cut this lead down once again with under 5 minutes to go here in the first. Oh, it's taken away by Herring, and they keep possession, touch last by Shepard.
Now we talked about how Doug Herring averages close to 3 steals per ball game. You mentioned he was voted Defensive Player of the Month past couple of months. Showing us the defense there.
And a quick timeout called here by the Dragons. And the Knights, even if they win this game, will still not officially clinch a playoff berth, but they just need one more. If they can win their final assignment, or if Hong Kong can win their one of their 2 final games, that will propel the Knights into the playoffs officially.
You mentioned the magic number being 13 wins. And the Knights after today will be playing the Singapore Slingers, the Saigon Heat, and finish off with the Hong Kong Eastern.
Speaking, of course, of the Singapore Slingers, they met up against San Miguel a la Pilipinas today, and the defending champions coming away with that one on the road. And here's the drive now by Jawato. Comes up short. Jonathan Wong gonna be called for the foul.
And you know, the mentality of Jawato is, unless it's an import, Nana Egwu or Chris Eversley, or even Winston Shepard, that will be the last line of defense, he can take on pretty much any local on the opposite side in terms of attacking the paint.
So there will be 2 free throws now given up for Brandon Jawato. His father is from Bali. His mother is from Los Angeles. And he grew up in Hawaii. How cool is the life of one Brandon Jawato?
And this guy, if you take a look at his Instagram account, living the surfer's life here in Indonesia, stands at about 6'3", 6'4", built lean and built solid, built athletic.
Again, he has come off 2 knee surgeries and has gotten past that. You know, the mental part of recovering from injuries is actually harder than the physical part. And he's up the lead now to 6, 14-8, as we come up on 4 minutes to go. And Lo Shifai in the game for the first time, missing from the outside.
Lo Shifai, one of the integral parts of this Dragon squad, has missed a lot of games because of that rib injury, and Coach Jamie Perman says he's actually not in game shape because he's not been able to really get his conditioning going.
That is a bad collision, and down goes Jonathan Wong, holding on to his, what appears to be his right foot, and he is in pain, Marco.
That was a tough fall. I think he landed on Wong Wei Long. Hopefully it looks worse than it actually is.
Yeah, he's being helped up right now. Let's see this one again. What happened here? Oh, looks like he got his knee pulled from underneath him. And he's walked it off, though.
Got off balance in the air and he got clipped by, I believe, the left leg of Wong Wei Long. Inadvertent, though, as he was falling.
But he's able to walk back to the bench. Brian Rousum on your screen. That's a guy who's actually had a lot of NBA experience as a player. Also the former national team coach of Qatar.
Was a member of the Charlotte Hornets,
right? He was a member of the original Charlotte Hornets, and there was a story that we keep on telling here in the ASEAN Basketball League that he was actually invited by none other than Michael Jordan to come back for the, I believe, the 30th anniversary just a couple of years ago.
How
Flew
cool
him
is
in.
that?
Yeah, he flew him in from this side of the world.
So he's been a big part of the resurgence here of the Knights.
One of the candidates for Coach of the Year also at this point. No Shifai putting the ball on the floor. His pass is picked off, however, by Wong Wei Long. Into the front court. Esho thinking about pulling up. Gathers his feet, but missed the shot.
That hesitation there by Maxi Escher probably caused him to miss, but you see the defense of the Knights not threatened at all by the outside shooting of the Dragons, just collapsing inside the paint.
Right now, Shepard really hasn't gotten things on court. Nana Egwu getting it out. Shin for three. And a rebound secured by Esho.
Westports so far 0 of 3 from long distance.
And they're trying their best, but it's so hard to really shoot in this building, especially with this noisy crowd behind the Knights. 9 to shoot, and here's a pick coming from Shepard. Shepard attacks. Shepard out to Lo Shifai. Low for three. Good!
That's a big shot there, stopping the bleeding, so to speak, here for the Dragons. And, you know, that's going to do a lot for the confidence of Lo Shifai after missing so many games.
Lo Shifai, a longtime member of the Malaysian national team. Here's Herring on the pull-up, 16-footer. Rattles in and out. Battle for the loose ball. And that will be last touched by Firman Nugroho.
And you know, Noel, actually when healthy, Lo Shifai is the 4th leading scorer of this squad, averaging close to 10 points per game. But he has only played 12 games for the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
And this ushers in the introduction of one Sandy Kurniawan, probably the best shooter in Indonesia right now. So you have 2 national team members on the floor for the BTN CLS Knights, and Sandy Kurniawan and Firman Nugroho.
But you know, for Kurniawan, he has seen his minutes go down here this season, especially with the addition of Wong Wei Long together with Doug Herring. So it's been mostly a 2-point guard backcourt as Nana Egwu hits that sweeping left-handed hook.
And that cuts the lead down to 3 right now. BTN CLS Knights still on top, 16-13 with under 2 minutes to play here in the first. Wong Wei Long on the pick and roll, and that is a miss on the layup, however, coming from Esho. That was a delayed pick and roll run by the Knights. Eversley won't line up the 3. Lost the handle. Picked up by Herring. I don't know if that's going to be officially another steal for Herring.
Probably going to, but for sure it's going to be another turnover for the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
Wong Wei Long doesn't get it that time. Here comes Shepard into the front court. Shepard in the open court. Almost lost it. Egwu recovers. Shin. They move the ball around right now, and Eversley can't knock it down, and they're still struggling from the outside. The Dragons are.
And Winston Shepard has had a difficult time attacking the basket. Good thing Chris Eversley continues to be aggressive, as Coach Jamie Perman telling his forwards to get back on defense.
Dragons working hard, cutting the lead down to just 1 with under a minute to go here in quarter number 1. Herring setting it up. Wong Wei Long using the screen by Nugroho. Wong Wei Long, 18-footer, is short.
I think that was deflected by Chin.
Yeah. So they can play for a 2-for-1 here if they hurry. Shepard dribbles on Nugroho's foot, and that will be called a kickball violation.
So far what the defense of the Knights is doing is that whenever the Nana Egwu sets that ball screen for Winston Shepard, they just drop down. The defender of Shepard fights under the screen, and then you have the defender of the screener just catching Shepard and preventing the penetration.
Our first look now at Arif Hidayat, who's in the game for the first time as Daryl Watkins checks back in. 14-second differential between the clocks. They won't get the 2-for-1, that's for sure. Lo Shifai is bothered there by Sandy Kurniawan, not really known for his defense. Lob pass, Maxi Esho!
What a connection there between Doug Herring and Maxi Esho. You could sense that they were looking for that.
Oh, and Shepard couldn't hang on to it.
Shepard has been frustrated the entire first quarter, not only because of the turnovers, but he has not gotten the usual points that he gets and the usual looks that he gets close to the paint.
They're going to try to adjust the clock here. It says 1.9, and they will put it back to 3 seconds, it appears.
So Winston Shepard is still scoreless, and more than that, has not made a clear attempt. So he's 0 for 0 from the field.
This is actually technically 4 seconds remaining here in the first. Watkins on the trigger, taken away. Eversley at the buzzer. That would have counted if it had gone. So at the end of the first 10 minutes of action, a low-scoring game for the CLS Knights standards, but they are up by 3, 18-15 against the visiting Westports Malaysia Dragons. Second quarter happens when we return.
Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Traveling kini tak perlu repot tukar uang ke money changer. Uang saku kuliah kamu di luar negeri tak lagi terpotong ini itu. Kamu bisa mulai tabungan kamu tanpa khawatir kurs naik turun. Dan dengan kurs kompetitif, bisnis kamu akan selalu mendapat nilai tukar terbaik. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas.
Lapar, makan mie jangan mikir. Nih, piknik, tak bikin dulu.
Fit me, makan mie, jangan mikir.
Ketika keadaan tak sesuai harapan. Stop! Jangan banyak drama. Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Uang saku kuliah kamu di luar negeri tak lagi terpotong ini itu. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas. Tanpa provisi, tanpa drama.
Of things going for them is their field goal percentage. Actually, they're 6 of 13, so they're actually shooting better than the home squad. But it's just that the turnovers are giving the Knights a lot more opportunities at the rim.
Great defense that time by Daryl Watkins as we open the second quarter. Arif Hidayat sees an opening, great pass inside, and Daryl Watkins scores.
And that's going to be another assist for the home squad. 6 assists already for the CLS Knights, while for the Dragons only 4 assists so far.
And any rest that you can give Wong Wei Long in this lineup will be a big plus as we have Watkins taking it away. Esho has it stripped, but they're going to call a blocking foul on Winston Shepard.
And that's a close call there, and Shepard thinks that he actually got all ball. But multiple opportunities to run here for the CLS Knights. The turnovers that the Dragons are committing, almost live ball turnovers, and which have allowed the Knights to get down on transition.
Marco, let's explain to the audience who have not been here to Gor Karatajaya what the conditions really are to play here. One of the warmest gyms in the league.
And you know, the warmth, the humidity causes a lot of moisture on the floor. So if you see the players, they do not get as much traction as they're normally used to. So they do not get to explode off the dribble as often or as quickly as they can.
You can see that there is air conditioning on the floor, but the moment the game starts, that's really going to struggle to keep this court cool.
And it's really a matter of getting used to, because both teams are actually facing the same type of conditions,
right.
But it's just that the Knights are more used to this type of setup.
And Egwu showing us a bit of his range on the fall away, cuts the lead down to 3.
That's the second turnaround jumper that Egwu has hit over Dial Watkins.
We have 8.5 to play in the first half. Herring tries to thread the needle. That's taken away again by the defense of the Dragons.
And this is what is keeping the Dragons in this game. First attack, first points of the game for Winston Shepard. First open look he got close to the rim.
That's going to be a confidence booster for Shepard. We don't usually see him scoreless after the first 10 minutes of action. Hidayat going over now to Maxi Esho. Esho pulls the brakes. Gets it out to Doug Herring. 9 to shoot for the Knights. Kurniawan bobbles a bit, but still lets it go. And a rebound again by Eversley.
That was a line drive miss there by Kurniawan on offense. Nothing much happening on that sequence for the Knights.
And here's Winston Shepard getting away again. And suddenly the Dragons have regained the lead. Check that, the Dragons, yes, they do have the lead once again, 21. Now slowly growing here for the Dragons. Again, this is a team where every game counts. The Knights only have 2 more games remaining The Dragons still have a lot.
That is correct, and for the Dragons, it's been an up and down season for them, especially coming off 4 straight losses all day long.
The greatest three-point shooter in league history, showing us just why he got that accolade.
One of the quickest releases we've seen here in the ABL, and one of the most clutch three-point shooters, despite that defense thrown there by Westports.
And despite about being only 5'9" as well, former Singapore Slingers mainstay found out that his mother actually had Indonesian roots, was able to move to CLS and play as a local. So he's probably one of the rare cases here in the league, Marco, of a local who has played in 2 different teams.
That's right, and he has been a blessing to this CLS Knights program, especially after the retirement of Mario Wuisang.
Yeah.
They were looking for a steady point guard, or actually a point guard who can also give them that scoring. And Wong Wei Long not only gives them scoring, gives them floor generalship, as well as court vision and unselfish basketball.
And that is a very, very rare miss from Wong Wei Long at the free throw line, but it's still enough to give the Knights a 2-point lead, 23-21. And a lot of pressure being applied now on the Dragons. Three-pointer on its way. That's a good challenge coming from Arif Hidayat. Nana Egwu recycles now for the Dragons. Shin looking for Egwu. Egwu providing the pick. Shin going the other way. A lot of ball movement here for the Westports Malaysia Dragons. 2 to shoot. Shepard lets it go in time, and there is the aggression from Maxi Esho.
And I like what they did on defense there on the initial setup by Westports. They blitzed Shepard on that ball screen as Maxi Esho hits another three-pointer for the home squad.
But Maxi Esho just loves it in this building, and he has built a 5-point lead now for the CLS Knights.
Well, the Knights average about 8 triples per ball game. Right now, they already have 4, and we're not even halfway done the second quarter.
They actually hold the record now for 22 three-pointers in one game, scored in this very same building. Eversley struggling from the outside, and Eversley almost takes it away. It'll go back to the BTN CLS Knights.
Well, for the CLS Knights, as long as you can prevent Winston Shepard from penetrating and force the Dragons to take the shots from the outside, they're the worst three-point shooting team in the league, averaging about 28%, just 28% from that area. I would consider that a win on that defensive possession.
You have to go back to that 7-game winning streak that the BTN CLS Knights put together. There was a game where they actually set the record for most three-pointers in a game at 22. Then they came back the next game and shot 18 three-pointers. How about that?
You just imagine how good these guys are shooting the ball, because not only do you have Herring and Wong Wei Long who can shoot it from the outside, but you also have Jawato, Maxi Esho, and of course Sandy Kurniawan who can knock it down.
Here is Jawato back in the game. Tries to power his way in. No go that time. Shepard sort of reminds you of Stacey Ogman, the way his body is built, his hair as well, but a turnover once again, stepping on the sideline against the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
One of the worst is the unforced turnover there. It's the careless mistake on the part of Jonathan Wong, but you like how Jonathan Wong is back on the floor.
Yes.
And looking unhurt after that sequence.
More of his pride was hurt when he stepped on the sideline. And the Knights have held the Dragons scoreless for a little over 2 minutes already here in the second. Watkins, quick release. Battle for the rebound. Won once again by the Dragons, and here they come. They're trying to look for Nana Egwu in the post. They want the clear out. Egwu working one-on-one now. And they send it around. Three-pointer is good once again. Boy, the shooting from the locals. That's Yek Liang Chuan getting it done.
That's a big boost there on the part of the Dragons. Whenever you can get local support, especially from the outside, that's a big bonus for them. I believe that's Wei Long Tan.
Oh, really? And a miss from the outside once again.
Oh, sorry, you're right. It's Yek Liang Tuan.
Yes, number 26 for the Westports Malaysia Dragons. Here is the setup now on the pick and roll for Nana Egwu. Passes up on the shot. Three-pointer again. This time it won't work. Here's Wong. Getting it over to Eversley. Nobody near him, and Chris Eversley misses again.
And so far, it's been an off night in terms of three-point shooting for Chris Eversley.
So with 4:36 remaining here in the second, still a close one. But the Knights hanging on to a 2-point lead. Esho putting on the moves and gets the reverse.
So difficult whenever Maxi Esho gets that first step on you because of his length. Those long strides, there's very little that the defense can do, especially if there's no goaltender in the middle.
A lot of people are saying that if Maxi Esho can throw the Knights into the playoffs, he might be one of the candidates. He might be considered one of the strong candidates.
That's right.
For World MVP. And there's a turnover, an unforced one. Nana Egwu passing to nobody as Doug Herring finishes.
And what a finish there for Doug Herring against a 6'8" Winston Shepard.
Brian Rousum looking for a foul, but instead he has found a 6-point lead. The BTN CLS Knights 30, Westports Malaysia Dragons.
CLS
You're
Knights.
sure looking at all the teams in contention right now. You have Hong Kong Eastern with somebody like a Marcus Elliott on their squad.
You have Ronaldo Balkman for the San Miguel Ala Pilipinas
right.
squad.
And for Mono Vampire, of course, you have Malcolm White, who's probably the noisiest player in the league.
And now Romeo Travis.
Yeah, Romeo Travis also there, but Romeo Travis more of a leader by example. It's really more of Malcolm White barking at everybody. But for the CLS Knights, nobody really. I mean, Doug Herring speaks every now and then, Maxi Esho as well, but no one's really the consistent vocal leader, which makes this squad quite impressive. You're right about the chemistry.
And you know, I think it's also what makes them one of the dark horses here in the league. If you take a look at their starting five, I would think they would be able to match up with any of the starting fives among the top teams.
As Daryl Watkins uses the left hand to finish, and Nana Egwu is guilty of the foul.
Especially when you have Daryl Watkins contributing aggressively on the offensive end. He's a legit 7-footer who has a couple of moves or has good moves inside the paint. So whenever he can enforce his will enforce his will inside, that's going to be a big plus for the Knights.
He's also a pretty decent free throw shooter. Has actually improved. He struggled when he first came in to the BTN CLS Knights. Look at the confident stroke. It looks like he's been working with Wong Wei Long on that stroke.
Averaging about 63% from the free throw stripe, as CLS Knights actually the fourth best team in terms of free throw shooting at 71% as a squad.
That's really not surprising the way they shoot the ball, especially in this building. They have now built a 9-point lead, 33-24 as we come up on 3 minutes to go. And another turnover. Jawato gives it up to Herring early, and Herring can't finish, but the tip-in is there for Maxi Esho. Herring looking for the foul.
Herring was actually looking for the foul, and I think he had a good point there. His legs got a bit clipped by Winston Shepard, but you have to give a lot of credit to Maxi Esho not giving up on the play.
Jamie Perlman has seen this lead swell now to 11 points. Timeout, Westports Malaysia Dragons. The Dragons, they picked up a 21-20 lead and then got grounded.
And you know, turnovers have really continued to hurt them. 13 turnovers already. Winston Shepard on his own has 3 turnovers, and they're of that nature where he elevates for a pass without a clear recipient to pass to. And these turnovers have resulted in 14 turnover points for the CLS Knights.
This is a 9-zip run, finally laid to rest that time by Chris Eversley.
And that's good recognition there on the part of Eversley, recognizing that he had Doug Herring on the mismatch down low, quickly attacks and scores inside.
Herring putting it on the floor, zigzagging, pulls up from 14 and nails it.
That's a great crossover dribble there in traffic, and then elevating for 15 feet.
2:20 remaining in the first half. Knights again up by double figures. Winston Shepard looked like he was going to get it going here in the second quarter, but he has been silenced by the defense. Oh, what an up and under. Chris Eversley turned back that time by Watkins. Eversley stays with it. Watkins almost has it stripped, and here comes Wong Wei Long.
That's a good adjustment there on the part of the Knights. They know that Winston Shepard plays from the outside, so they collapse about 4 guys inside the paint, allowing Daryl Watkins to help out on the post-up of Eversley.
It's the first time I looked up at the scoreboard in a long time. Marco, CLS has 0 team fouls here in the second quarter, already 4 for the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
And there's that between the legs crossover there by Doug Herring, allowing him to get to the free throw stripe and then elevates to that smooth stroke.
They say he gets the poor man's triple-double every now and then, but nothing poor about the way he's been performing here for the Knights. Cross-court pass, Wong Wei Long. Wong Wei Long on the pull-up, quick release, bothered by the defense. And how about Maxi Esho at the right place at the right time?
Past 2 possessions, the Dragons have fallen to a 2-3 zone. And you know, the weakness of the zone is that you're not really defending a particular man, so that allows the Knights rather to get that offensive rebound.
Largest lead of the game at 13. Shepard can't answer. Good boxing out there by Watkins, but he taps it out.
And you
With
see
minute
how-
26 remaining. Yeah.
You see, Noel, how much room that Maxi Esho is giving Winston Shepard, practically daring him to take that outside shot.
Surprised that they haven't done a zone consistently yet. Shepard, and looks like away from play. Oh, there's going to be a sub coming in. And one of the crowd favorites is going to see his first action of the game. This is Mo Saroni.
First sign of action for Saroni is one of the enforcers.
Wow, that was just Nana Egwu using his talent, his length, and his experience to get the dunk and the three-point play opportunity.
And you love the recognition there from the Dragons, attacking the guy who's coming off cold off the bench. And Nana Egwu takes it strong to the basket.
Again, Shepard was just a crisp chest pass. And you teach this in all the basketball camps. When you execute that chest pass, you got to be 100% committed to it.
That's right. And you know, if you're Saroni also, the mistake is that you're defending the guy popping out to the three-point line and you're leaving that painted area wide open for that slip coming from Nana Egwu.
The noise in this building is incredible. That forces a miss. Lane violation against the Dragons. And the Knights get the ball back with a minute and 23 remaining in the second.
And this second quarter has been all CLS Knights, 21-13 in favor of the home squad.
And again, very quiet after it was 28-26 earlier. And here is Wong Wei Long getting it out. Esho, good pump fake. Esho gets it out. All day to shoot for Wong Wei Long, but he will miss. And a minute remaining. Shepard pushing it up. Noshi 5 holds the brakes. Egwu for three. Good!
And he's actually, I believe, second best three-point shooter on the squad outside of Chris Eversley. First triple of the game for Nana Egwu.
He's got more three-pointers than Chris Eversley in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, Herring lost the ball. Egwu with a recovery. So a chance for the Dragons to chip away at this lead going into the halftime break. Here's Shepard. Met by the double team. Eversley moving it around to Low. On the post up. Give and go. Low bobbles the ball but misses. Shot clock has been turned off, Marco.
Doug Herring will hold for the last shot here in the second quarter.
8-point lead for the Knights. 39-31. 9 seconds to go in the second. Herring will now attack. Herring gets a screen. Herring, 1 second. Tough fall away. And I don't know if that would have counted, but the result is, after 20 minutes of action here at Gor Kertajaya, it is the home team, the BTN CLS Knights, leading 39-31 against the Westports Malaysia Dragons. We are at the half. We will have more action.
This is where it all begins. We're partners, you and I. When we're together, we're unstoppable. When we're together, anything is possible. At BTN, we know the power of partnership. A good partner works with you intimately. A good partner knows what you need. A good partner always has your back. The partner for starting your dream family, building your dream home, realizing the dream. It takes courage to begin, but it takes encouragement to keep on going. So go on, dream big. We're with you every step of the way. You have a partner in BTN.
Ketika keadaan tak sesuai harapan. Stop! Jangan banyak drama. Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Traveling kini tak perlu repot tukar uang ke money changer. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas. Tanpa provisi, tanpa drama.
Makan mie jangan mikir. Nih, fit mie, gak bikin gendut.
Fit Me, makan mie, jangan mikir.
Ketika keadaan tak sesuai harapan. Stop! Jangan banyak drama. Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Kamu bisa mulai tabungan kamu tanpa khawatir kurs naik turun. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas. Tanpa provisi, tanpa drama.
Makan mie jangan pakai mikir. Nih, Fit mie. 50 kalori doang. Bisa gitu.
Fit nih, makan mie, jangan mikir.
Ketika keadaan tak sesuai harapan. Stop! Jangan banyak drama. Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Dengan kurs kompetitif, bisnis kamu akan selalu mendapat nilai tukar terbaik. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas. Tanpa provisi, tanpa drama.
This is where it all begins. We're partners, you and I. When we're together, we're unstoppable. When we're together, anything is possible. At BTN, we know the power of partnership. A good partner works with you intimately. A good partner knows what you need. A good partner always has your back. A partner for starting your dream family, building your dream home, realizing the dream. It takes courage to begin, but it takes encouragement to keep on going. So go on, dream big. We're with you every step of the way. You have a partner in BTN.
16 points, and as a team they have 4 triples to their name, 4 of 11, while for the Dragons they're 3 of 11 from long distance.
That should be a victory of sorts for the Westports Malaysia Dragons, holding only 4 points, holding the CLS Knights to only 4 points, as we have Yek getting his second triple of the game. They're now tied for 3-pointers apiece, and that lead is down to 5.
That's right, and the local support has been there, coming from Yek Liang Chuan, who has back-to-back triples to his name.
Here's the post-up move now coming from Gerald Watkins. Watkins on the tough fall-away. How about that?
Showing Nana Egu he can also hit that turnaround jumper.
13 in the game right now. And here is Eversley. Going to a straight man-to-man. Shepard. Egu thinking about it. 6 on the shot clock. Shin. 2 on the shot clock, and passes inside. It's taken away again by the Knights.
A lot of standing around there on offense on the part of the Westports Malaysia Dragons. Another turnover. That's going to be number 14 for them.
Again, the mix-up in terms of defense, the defensive strategy has been working wonders now for the CLS Knights, as Brandon Jawato gets to manufacture free throws.
And I like that motion offense there coming from the Knights, with Daryl Watkins standing at the top of the key, and then that crisscross cut coming from Wong Wei Long and Brandon Jawato.
Well, again, Brandon Jawato is actually part of a power couple in terms of sports. His girlfriend, Kalei Mao, is actually a star volleyball player in the Philippines, half Filipino, half Hawaiian as well.
That's something I didn't know.
Well, I was telling Brandon before the game, you know, I just covered your girlfriend the other day, and now I'm covering you. So when is this power couple going to get together? He says after the season.
So far, Jawato has been a big revelation as one of the rookies here for the CLS Knights.
42-34. Knights regained that 8-point lead, which they had at the half. Here's Yek. And Shepard has been very quiet again today. Again, a lot of ball movement this time. but Nanaegu can't hang on to it.
And you know, despite that turnover, there was a lot of good movement there, a lot of back screens, a lot of flare screens. They're not relying on the top ball screen for Winston Shepard as of yet.
There's Wong Wei Long on the penetration this time. Changed his mind at the last second, and they turn it over.
And you're right, even Maxi Esho thought that the Wong Wei Long was already going to go up for that floater.
So sloppy exchange between both squads. 2 minutes gone by here in the third. Knights 42, Dragons 34. And for the Westports Malaysia Dragons, this is a very important game for them. They try and keep pace for that number 8 spot in the playoffs. They have lost that number 8 spot at least momentarily to the Mono Vampire squad. And Mono Vampire with a big win yesterday against Hong Kong Eastern.
As you mentioned, if they're able to get a win here, they're going to reclaim the 8th spot. They're going to go up to 7 and 13.
Oh! From one circus shot to another, Brandon Jawano finishes.
That's just something you cannot predict and you cannot call.
Eversley battling for it, and they say Watkins touched it last. I want to see that one again. Circus shot number 1, circus shot number 2.
But you have to give a lot of credit to Brandon Jawato for the effort to keep playing and to keep attacking that offensive glass.
So they change the call. It becomes Knights basketball. Herring trying to get creative. Oh, great rim protection by Nanaegu. Into the front court, Chris Eversley on the finish.
And that last layup from Chris Eversley was way back in the first quarter.
And another turnover against the Knights. Getting a little sloppy here in the third.
Shooting themselves on the foot, so to speak. Now they've allowed the Dragons to come back in this game.
So 44-36. After all of that, it's still an 8-point lead for the CLS Knights. As we can see there, the effort from Chris Eversley.
And I think they're going to give the foul to Maxi Esho, so that's going to mean 2 free throws for Chris Eversley. Eversley so far 6 points, 3 of 11 from the field, instead of 1 from the line.
And this is going to help recalibrate that guard. Chris Eversley, the best 3-point shooter of the squad, has still drawn a blank from distance.
It's actually averaging a less than expected 26% from long distance.
But he drops 2 free throws that time. He's actually scored back-to-back baskets now. I believe he's up to 10 points already at this point. So 44-38, Knights lead down to 6. Here's Doug Herring. Chawato getting the screen. Wong Wei Long all day to shoot, and the long ranger delivers again.
And you know, off that ball screen, Darrell Watkins going to the post, sucking in the defense, leaving Wong Wei Long wide open for that wing triple.
47-38. Back to a 9-point lead for the BTN CLS Knights. Good ball movement here, finding the wide open Yek, and that set shot 3 is so effective.
And again, you mentioned that ball movement from the right side going all the way to the left corner. And Yek has answered the call here for Coach Jamie Perlman.
Yek, of course, had a total of 13 points and 5 rebounds in the loss against Mono Vampire. Herring, great pass on the pick and roll. And a finish once again coming from Darrell Watkins, who flexes his muscles.
That's going to be part of the highlight reel. How about the behind the back bounce pass coming from Doug Herring and the finish from Watkins.
See this one again. Delayed on the pick, but no delay on the finish. And boy, Darrell Watkins has really blended well with this squad. When he started playing here for the CLS Knights, a lot of people were criticizing his lack of offense. And he's really turned that around.
And believe it or not, that's only the 3rd assist coming from Doug Herring. But as a team, they've managed 11 assists. Talking about the CLS Knights.
Again, Doug Herring, you get to talk to him. He doesn't care about his numbers. He cares about W's. And if they get one here, they will move one step away, one game away from actually officially clinching a playoff spot. Remember, the CLS Knights missed the playoffs last year. And what a way to turn things around for Coach Brian Rousem. That's a miss at the line, and here comes Shepard. And Shepard has been a little bit more passive today than normal. What do you think, Marco?
So far, only 4 points for Winston Shepard. The defense has really recognized the strengths of Winston Shepard, and the condition on the floor has not made it easier for him as well to attack the basket.
Remember that the CLS Knights have only lost 3 times in this building. Once against San Miguel a la Pilipinas, and of course recently against the Singapore Slingers. And the other team that beat them escapes me at this point. Was it the Formosa Dreamers?
I believe it was the Macau Black Bears.
Oh, the Macau Black Bears, yeah. Oh no, sorry, Hong Kong Eastern.
Hong Kong Eastern.
Yeah, Hong Kong Eastern early in the season. The 4th best home team in the league. Of course, San Miguel a la Pilipinas is yet to drop a game at home, and only 2 losses at home for the Formosa Dreamers and the Macau Black Bears. As Winston Shepard silences the crowd momentarily with that free throw. Are we going a little too retro? Call him like Stacey Ogman. Yeah, I'm sure there's a player. Another name comes out is Latrell Sprewell, but that's even more retro.
Yeah. The only difference with Stacey Ogman is that he's not left-handed.
Yeah. Shepard knocks down both. And once again, just a 2-possession lead for the BTN CLS Knights. 5.5 to play here in the third. Wong Wei Long, the starting unit for Brian Rousem, seeing a lot of burn here in the third. Watkins, single coverage being offered by Egu. Watkins on the drop-off, Jawato on the fall-away. How about Doug Herring coming away with it? Esho for 3, good!
And again, second chance opportunities for the CLS Knights. You have to give them a lot of credit for not giving up on the play. That's another rebound for Doug Herring. 9 second chance points for the Knights.
You're absolutely right. The three-point shooting is keeping this lead large. High-low play. Inside they go to Eversley, who can't finish. And here comes Doug Herring. Herring into the front court. Herring all of a sudden turns on the thrusters. And Watkins lost the ball. That would have been another highlight. Here comes Shepard on the 3-on-2. And the finish coming from Wong.
And Brandon Jawato cannot believe the call, as actually did not even challenge that layup coming from Yek.
And I believe there's going to be a timeout on the floor. Brandon Jawato still talking to our officials on this one. So 52-43 is the score. Still a 9-point lead for the BTN CLS Knights. And now a 3-point play opportunity for Yek, who sort of caught fire here. I love the economy of movement in this young man's jump shot, and his follow-through is impeccable. But again, one of those players who uses a lot of arms with his shooting. And I don't know if you're a disciple of using arms for shooting, Marco. When you were playing, you looked like you had pretty decent mechanics when you were taking your jump shot.
Well, I think especially now that you want a lot of players try to step back or get more distance on the range or from the 3-point area. They're going to need a lot more legs on those set shots or those jump shots.
Jamie Perlman not happy with the turnover of Shin. Picked up his dribble and didn't know what to do.
But you're right, Yek has answered the call here for Coach Jamie Perlman. 12 points already. One of the locals. He's actually the leading scorer right now for the Dragons. Egu has 11, Eversley has 10, and Winston Shepard only with 6 points so far.
There's a drive by Wong. Bottled up. Another defensive effort there coming from Nana Egu, but he extended his knee, and one of our referees caught it.
And again, excellent defensive effort there on the part of Egu. Although you just have to give it to Jawato, not giving up on that sequence. Gets blocked, recovers that basketball, and continues to try to attack the paint.
That's foul number 3 on Nana Egu. And as you know, he's one of those players who doesn't really have a backup. Loshi Fai can actually slide to that 5 position, but he's going to be giving up a lot of height. Loshi Fai is about 6'5". Here's Esho, immediately attracting the double team.
There's that zone defense once again.
A miss by Jawato from the outside. He's actually struggled from distance today. Loshi Fai getting it now to Winston Shepard. Shepard can't run the pick and roll. Gets it out. Loshi Fai now posting up Nana Egu. Egu 10 on the shot clock. Egu fall away. Bothered there by Watkins. He gets it back. Eversley. Low on the drive. Low 2 to shoot. Gets it out to Nana Egu. Beating the buzzer, but can't get it to go.
That's a great defensive stop there on the part of the Knights. You see the versatility of Jawato that time, picking up Winston Shepard on defense.
It It's really noisy in this building right now, and if they make this shot, the noise is going to go really high. And another miss from Jowato from the outside. Eversley, low Shifa, straightaway three, offline.
And you know, you're right, Noel. Winston Shepard very passive here in the third quarter.
And Jowato is anything but for the CLS Knights.
And you know, Jowato is typically, you're just the typical blue-collar worker, does not care about aesthetics, just gets the job done.
Product of the University of Hawaii has up the lead to 8 once again. No Shifai. Nice to see him back on the floor playing extended minutes actually for the Dragons. Egwu looking for Low. 3 on the shot clock again. Low has to put this one up. And it's way off. Shot clock violation against the Dragons. Nobody's speaking on offense.
And normally that's the job of the point guard. And that time that's going to be Winston Shepard. But you see the defense of the Knights. They've actually allowed Wong Wei Long to play defense against Lo Shifai because Lo Shifai likes to play from the outside. So that allows Wong to match up against him.
And yet, Liang Chuan is going to come back in the game. His plus-minus must be off the charts because every time he's off the floor, disaster happens for the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
Sandy Corniawan and Birman Nugroho have also made their way back onto the floor.
Herring comes up short. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the third. Lead is 8 for the BTN CLS Knights.
And I'd like to see Winston Shepard attack this defense with Darren Watkins on the bench.
But again, he passes on the shot and they lose the ball.
Must be a lot of moisture on that basketball right now.
Long. Oh, nice fake that time by Esho, but he almost lost it. Wong Wei Long was also bothered by the moisture more than the defense.
It's been a struggle so far, back-to-back possessions. Both teams having a hard time handling that basketball.
And anytime one of the locals checks in, there's a lot of buzz from the crowd here in Surabaya. Zarif Hidayat, or check that, coming into the game for the first time.
I believe that's Utomo.
Yeah, Febri Utomo. Seeing his first action of the game, 1 minute and 40 to go here in the third. So we're still at a stalemate actually in terms of third quarter scoring.
Yeah, another low-scoring quarter. Both teams have scored 15 points apiece.
There's Wong. Get it out. Shin for 3. He had a couple in the first half. Eversley is bumped. And that's going to mean free throws now for the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
And that's going to be the second personal foul on Maxi Esho. And hopefully this trip to the free throw line can get Eversley back in rhythm to get his confidence going once again. That's slight nudge on the part of Esho.
After having no team fouls in the second quarter, BTN CLS Knights find themselves over the limit with 1 minute and 21 remaining here in the third. Again, Sandy Corniawan. The 3 locals on the floor right now. And I believe the referees are going to call a sanction here. No, they're going to hold back on calling a technical right now. Eversley has been yapping at the officials. And Jamie Perlman is doing his best to calm everybody down. It's still a close game.
There's that sequence once again. There's that nudge right from the right forearm of Maxi Esho.
Still a little bit of a lull here. Apparently the foul was away from play, or they call a technical foul actually on the CLS Knights. See Doug Herring in the background shaking his head, and Nana Egwu will miss the free throw.
Sorry, missed there on the part of Egwu. Had he made that free throw, would have been down to a 7-point deficit, and the Dragons, I believe they have free throws for Chris Eversley because they're in the penalty.
So it still escapes me why was Nana Egwu actually shooting the technical free throw. He elected himself as the designated technical free throw shooter. And here's the best free throw shooter on the team, Chris Eversley.
So now you have 2 free throws for Chris Eversley.
Again, the crowd silence will tell you what happened. That despite the fact that Eversley has been impeccable from the free throw line, his shooting from the field has been horrendous.
That's right, 4 of 13 from the field.
And Eversley bears a striking resemblance to Paul Pierce. Knocks down both.
And they've cut it down to a 2-possession game, have the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
Nugroho handing it over now to Kurniawan. Kurniawan. Firman Nugroho loves this matchup now. Working the post, left-handed shot. Won't work. Outlet pass with under a minute to go, and Chris Eversley on the finish.
One of the few fast break points, transition baskets coming for the Westports Malaysia Dragons. And they don't look now, Noel, they've cut it down to a 4-point game.
They are winning this third quarter. Doug Herring is such a genius of drawing fouls, and he'll get a 3-point play opportunity, and Nugroho and Shepard have to be separated.
And Winston Shepard has to be careful. He's more valuable to his team at this point than Firman Nugroho is to the Knights.
And more action on the other side right now as the action spills over. Doug Herring now has to be pulled away. Again, 54-50, color developing between both squads. And again, this is an intense matchup with a lot at stake. So we can see there, Nugroho actually just tapped Winston Shepard in the back, and Shepard took exception to it.
Yeah. And despite being down for most of this game, Dragons know how important this is in terms of the playoff race.
Well, again, you know, Firman Nugroho can probably brag that he is the only member of the CLS Knights to actually have an ABL championship when he played for the Indonesia Warriors.
That's right.
Back in 2011.
So now the Westports Malaysia Dragons have outscored the CLS Knights 19-17.
And it looks like there's still a free throw coming up for Doug Herring. Still a lull here. The officials are doing their best. There's a technical foul called by referee Prita Pongsida. That could be another one here against the BTN CLS Knights. So Herring's all set to take the free throw, but a technical foul has been motioned.
So I think it's going to be a double technical apiece, possibly for Shepard and Nugroho.
And apparently it goes against the Knights. And Jamie Perlman is still asking for clarification here, Marco. Might be on Firman Nugroho. Loshifai will return. We still have 40 seconds remaining.
It's been a long third quarter.
Yes, that's right. It's a colorful third quarter at that. So, was that offsetting technical fouls, Marco? We didn't see the motion of the officials, but we do see Doug Herring at the free throw line. He has a 3-point play opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're right, Noel. There's going to be double technical, so they're going to cancel out each other, and then they're going to give the extra free throw for the continuation to Doug Herring.
That's foul number 4 called on Nana Egwu, and he's going to take a seat for the remainder of this period.
So Egwu has 4 personal, Shepard has 2, Eversley has 1. Meanwhile, on the part of the Knights, Esho has 2, Jawato has 2, and Daryl Watkins also with 2 personals.
So 3-point play is completed. Knights up by 7. Difference of about 18 seconds between the clocks. Here's Shepard. Shepard gets back to the free throw line. Foul will be called on Febrio Tumo.
And you know, that's great recognition on the part of Shepard. Finally attacking the rim with Daryl Watkins on the bench. It was matched up against Hidayat. That was a late challenge on the part of Utomo, and little he could do against the 6'8" Winston Shepard.
Yeah, these guys are about 5'10", both of them.
Yeah.
So Winston Shepard actually got to cover his first game here in the ABL. That was a squeaker of a win against the Wolf Warriors over at Zhuhai, where they were down 12 points in the fourth quarter. And he helped engineer the victory.
And
1-point win.
Shepard so far is perfect from the line, 3 out of 3. He's averaged just 56% this season.
Cuts it down to 6. Shepard good on 2 this time. 57, 52, 30 seconds to go in the third.
And Doug Herring will try to waste the clock, possibly prevent the Dragons from getting another opportunity or another crack to end the quarter.
Difference of about 5 seconds between the clocks. Here comes the screen by Esho. Another screen. And attacking from the baseline, the floater will not work this time for Arif Hidayat.
Probably a little early there.
Here's Eversley. Oh, great defense that time by Hidayat. And the heave is not going to work. But Arif Hidayat with a great stop to end the third quarter on a high note. However, the lead has been whittled down to 5 for the BTN CLS Knights, 57-52. Fourth quarter happens when we return.
Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Traveling kini tak perlu repot tukar uang ke money changer. Uang saku kuliah kamu di luar negeri tak lagi terpotong ini itu. Kamu bisa mulai tabungan kamu tanpa khawatir kurs naik turun. Dan dengan kurs kompetitif, bisnis kamu akan selalu mendapat nilai tukar terbaik. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas.
Lapar. Makan mie jangan mikir. Nih, piknik. Tak bikin dulu.
Fit me, makan mie, jangan mikir.
Ketika keadaan tak sesuai harapan. Stop! Jangan banyak drama. Kenalin, Velas, sahabatmu dalam setiap transaksi falas. Uang saku kuliah kamu di luar negeri tak lagi terpotong ini itu. Nikmati dunia tanpa batas bersama Velas. Tanpa provisi, tanpa drama.
Fourth quarter gets underway. That's confirmation of the third quarter score, where the Westports Malaysia Dragons finally won a quarter here. They need to build on that here, Marco.
And you know, if this ends up as a low-scoring game, as it has been through 3 quarters, I think that favors the Westports Malaysia Dragons, as they only average about 71 points per game, while holding opponents to about 82 points per contest. So the lower scoring, the lower the score, I think it's better for the Dragons.
And that's how they picked up the win against the defending champions, San Miguel Ala Pilipinas, holding them down to below 80 points. Egwu getting the start here, but Cornyawan takes it away.
I just did not see Cornyawan on the same side as Egwu.
Kind of hard to see Sandy Cornyawan coming from the blind side. Utomo still in the game, as Herring gets it over to Utomo. Double team on Daryl Watkins and a foul on Chris Eversley.
That's not a smart foul there on the part of Eversley, as Watkins was already going to kick the ball out.
Again, the referee's trying to clamp down because of what happened towards the end of that third quarter, where tempers almost got out of hand.
Second personal foul on Chris Eversley, who has actually done a good job coming back strong in the second half. 14 points already.
Sandy Cornyawan can't find the bottom of the Pacific Ocean the way he's shooting it right now. Winston Shepard taking it strong into the chest of Daryl Watkins. That's a good aggressive move, and he will be rewarded with 2 free throws.
Probably the past 2 possessions, or past 3 possessions since the end of the third quarter, Winston Shepard has decided to be more aggressive attacking the basket.
That's an obvious clip there coming from Daryl Watkins.
And he has done well, talking about Winston Shepard, to make his free throws tonight.
Yeah. One of the hardest buildings to shoot in the league, Winston Shepard upping his measly averages from the free throw line. And he continues to do well.
Continues to be perfect from the stripe, 5 out of 5.
Would you say his average was 54%?
Yeah, 56%.
56%. For a guy who gets fouled a lot, that's a number he has to work on. That's his first miss. Doug Herring, their lead is down to 4 from a high of 13.
And Wong Wei Long and Jawato getting set to check back into the game.
Watkins lost control.
And Nanaegu doing well just to stay vertical. And it was actually Watkins who lost the handle on that basketball.
Agu, remember, is playing with 4 fouls. And Coach Jamie Perlman has got no choice. You want to keep it close. You got to keep your big man in the game. That's a huge gamble, though.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Daryl Watkins hasn't really been that aggressive offensively, anything can happen.
And Nanaegu has actually played all but about a minute of this contest. Shepard and Eversley have not seen any rest.
Shepard tries to sneak one in. Good defense by the smaller Doug Herring. And Herring pushing it up. Herring, his pass picked off.
That's great anticipation there by Eversley.
4-on-1. Low Shi-Fi. And it's picked up by Jawano. Here come the Knights. Herring waits. Esho. And Lo Shi-Fi will deny him access to the baseline with a foul.
And then you might consider that a wasted possession for the Dragons. 4-on-1 fast break opportunity. And Lo Shi-Fi settles for a 3-point shot.
Well, that's been the trend in basketball over the past half decade, actually. As we see this play once again, Lo Shi-Fi sacrificing himself to deny access.
Dragons sticking to that 2-3 zone to try to protect Nanaegu inside.
Jawato has been throwing up blanks today. Jawato doing what he does best, but can't finish. And he'll get to the free throw line.
And how about the basketball IQ of Wong Wei Long? Did not have a chance to grab that rebound, instead just taps it out, knowing that his teammates are out there on the perimeter. And you just have to give it to Jawato, continuing to be aggressive, attacking the hoop.
That's back-to-back fouls now for Lo Shi-Fi. So Brandon Jawato, good on the first.
Enters double figures with 10 points. He's 3 out of 4, or make that 4 out of 5 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, averaging almost 13 a game. Coming into this one. 2 for 2 for Brandon Jawato.
Giving them a little more separation. 2-possession game.
But again, the Dragons are now starting to get a little bit more aggressive, especially with this man with the ball. Winston Shepard faking on the shot. Quick release. Way off that time by Yek.
And you see Chris Eversley raising his hands there. That was a little too early on the shot attempt there, coming from Chin.
59-53. Herring will do the quarterbacking. Wong Wei Long has been playing off the ball the entire season. This does well to preserve him for the playoffs. Wong. Good pick provided there by Watkins. That frees up Wong Wei Long, but he can't get it. Saved by Herring. Ball is loose, picked up by Lowe. Agwu tries to fill the lanes and lost possession, but they get it back. Nice fake there coming from Winston, but he will miss. Lo Shi-Fi attacks, and he is denied by Watkins. 3-on-2 going the other way. Herring, hang time, no!
Lucky break there for the Dragons. You see Nanaegu just getting out of the way, not wanting to commit the foul.
Low sizing up Watkins. Here's Shepard. Baseline dribble, turnover, and again more action between Shepard and Jawato this time.
And Winston Shepard is just frustrated by the defense of the Knights. You see Jawato playing excellent defense on the baseline.
The crowd wants another technical foul. And the referees will actually talk about it.
And if I'm not mistaken, Shepard has already gotten a technical foul back in that third quarter for that scuffle with Firman Nugroho.
So again, they're going to take their time deciding on this one. Our crew chief is actually from India. check that. Our crew chief is Pritam Wong Mi from Thailand. He's the guy on the right side. He's going to report to the table. He's going to report to Jamie Perlman first, and then report to the table. Report as well to Coach Brian Rousum. So no technical foul.
I think that's the right call to make, especially with the amount of time left and the gravity of this game.
Timeout called with 6:27 remaining in the fourth. 59 for the BTN CLS Knights, 53 for the...
Of 3 points only here in the fourth quarter. That's why we're stuck at 59 to 53. CLS is shooting 37% from the field, 36% for the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
Yeah, and if this low-scoring affair continues, it usually favors the Westports Malaysia Dragons. Wong Wei Long has something to say about that.
Again, the number 1 3-point shooter in ABL history.
62 to 53 is our score.
Ups the lead back up to 9.
Got under 6 minutes to play here in the fourth. Post-up move. Eversley lost the ball. Wong recovers, and he'll slow it down.
And the problem for the Westports Malaysia Dragons is they do not have a knockdown 3-point shooter in the likes of a Wong Wei Long, as Eversley has struggled from the field.
Well, Yek has hit 3 of them. Staying with it is Daryl Watkins.
And with 4 personal fouls, nobody there to help out Nana Egu get those defensive rebounds.
This is 5 unanswered since the last timeout for the BTN CLS Knights.
Lead is back up to 11.
Eversley still can't knock it down, Marco.
And no second chance opportunities for the Westports Malaysia Dragons. And Doug Herring, the veteran point guard that he is, will just walk it up the floor and milk some clock.
But that is still a precarious lead despite it being double digits at 11. Watkins inside to Herring.
And you know what the problem for the Dragons is, that Watkins is a threat in the post who can back down his man and make the defense work, while for the Dragons, everything emanates from the outside.
And he was able to get a good assist as well on that last play. Low might have gotten away with a push. Gets it out now to Shepard. Shepard attacks. Shepard underneath. Turned back by Daryl Watkins.
And because of the condition on the floor, it's really so hard to beat your man off the dribble.
And again, Herring has gone to a prevent mode, slowing things down as we approach 4 minutes to go.
They tied the biggest lead of the game at 13.
And Esho can't increase the lead. Here comes Shepard into the front court. Shepard wants to leave Esho. And that's going to be a foul called on Watkins.
That's the right ploy there for Winston Shepard. Just attack the body of the defense, force the referee to make a call.
But again, a lot of one-on-one moves being displayed now by the Westports Malaysia Dragons as we see this one again. You are right about the aggression uptick here coming from Winston Shepard.
Winston Shepard right now with 9 points. This is way below his scoring average of about 22 points per game. So the Knights, the defenses of opposing teams have really keyed in as we close out the season on the offense of Winston Shepard.
Boy, Shepard, after making his first 6, has missed his last 2 at a crucial juncture of this game. And maybe fatigue also starting to set in. You did mention Chris Eversley and Winston Shepard have not rested today.
36 minutes and 13 seconds total for each of those 2 players.
Now we do have 3:47 remaining. And Shepard gets the second one to drop.
Little full court pressure now for the visiting team.
Into the front court, Cornyawan.
And you know, with Wong Wei Long and Doug Herring at the point guard or at the back court, they're a very difficult team to press.
Watkins lost his footing, almost lost the ball. Esho straightaway 3, short. And Shin taps it out of bounds. A lucky break there for the Knights.
Lucky break for the home squad. Long attempt, long rebound.
And the Dragons are running out of time with 3:25 remaining. Look at the crew here at the Gorkarta Giant Gymnasium working feverishly on the floor to try to improve the moisture that is built up from the rain outside.
And you know, the problem is for the Dragons, they're not really known as a pressing team, especially with their short rotation. So it's not something that they rely on as a weapon.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. More mops come out.
And when the floor is a little bit slippery, just makes it all the more difficult to press.
I remember when the Formosa Dreamers played here, they did get away with a win, but Will Artino was actually 100% ready to go. But when he felt the court during the shoot-around, coming off the injury, he said, "I'll sit this one out." Luckily, the Formosa Dreamers came away with a win. Oh, check that. That was actually the CLS Knights coming away with the win. Part of that 7-game stretch. Herring. Wong Wei Long. Eversley, they still have time.
That was in and out for Wong Wei Long.
Eversley's also been a little bit more passive than normal here, but attacks and gets it to go.
16th point of the game for Chris Eversley, but you have a feeling it might be a little too little too late.
Well, we've seen a lot of miracles happen with less time than this, Marco. We can't count out the Dragons yet. Here's Wong. Turnover once again. Shepard into the front court. It's a 4-on-2. Yek lines up a 3. In and out.
That was as open as it gets. Probably the most open look Yek has gotten all evening long.
And he's hit all 3 of his threes from that spot. 2:25 to play. Knights really wasting time. Esho. That could be big.
That's just a display of athleticism there on the part of Maxi Esho. Double clutches it, turning around, and still manages to kiss it off the glass.
The crowd letting the visitors know that that shot might have put them within the grasp of victory. But again, with 2:16 remaining, it is still possible.
But that's going to be the 5th personal foul on Nana Egu. So
that makes things worse.
That's how big that play was from Maxi Esho.
So they have just lost their center. I believe Shepard now, at least on defense, is going to slide over to the center position. Loshi Fai is going to play the 4. Now we have a timeout on the floor. Woodtown game. But again, as they say, the fat lady has not yet sung. And Herring. I believe there was a, that was called an unsportsmanlike. Oh no, a technical foul and then the free throw.
So there's going to be a bonus free throw here for Maxi Esho. Dragons now in the penalty as well, while the Knights have 2 team fouls.
Silence in the crowd. That's 2 key misses from the line for the Knights. Leaving the door slightly ajar for the Dragons as we come up on the final 2 minutes in this one. Loshi Fai on the fake. They go inside Eversley, and Eversley gets fouled by Doug Herring.
That's a nice penetrating pass there on the part of Loshi Fai. That allows Chris Eversley to stop the clock and possibly get 2 points on the board, trim it down to 10 points.
Great movement without the ball as well for the veteran Chris Eversley. I believe the last remnant of that championship team.
And Chris Eversley so far 4 out of 5 from the stripe. And remember how he only had 4 points in that first half. Has already managed 13 points here in the second half. And is now the leading scorer for the Dragons.
But the one thing they're missing from Chris Eversley is actually his 3-point shooting here, Marco.
He's 0 out of 6 from distance.
Cuts it down to 10 with 1:59 to go. Pressure in the backcourt being applied by the Westports Malaysia Dragons. Esho the recipient. Esho brings it down.
And for Coach Brian Rosum, this is where you have the luxury of having Wong Wei Long and Jug Herring, as well as Maxi Esho, who can bring the ball down.
Herring will make his move now with 9 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Nobody there. Nana Egwu is gone. No rim protection for the Dragons.
And possibly the nail on the coffin there.
Shepard, they need some quick baskets here. Eversley. Shepard unleashes a three. No. Battle for the rebound. Dragons get it back. Loshi Fai to get it inside. Shepard's going to get an easy one. But again, with 1:13 remaining, Marco, is there still enough time?
And with the way the Knights have been able to protect the basketball and minimize their turnovers, that might be all she wrote here, unless some major miracle happens.
Wong Wei Long lost the handle for the moment. Scary moment for the Knights. Jawato, under a minute to go. Esho, dagger!
Maxi Esho, so consistent all season long.
Loshi Fai turned back at the door by Esho. And the Knights are 40 seconds away from another home victory here, Marco.
They're going to secure win number 12 and go up the standings. They're going to go 12 and 11 on the record.
Above the 500 mark to keep Hong Kong Eastern at 7th place. Herring. And with under 20 seconds to go, final score is all we're waiting for here. They let Eversley scoot in.
And they're possibly also going to go up to number 4 spot in terms of the number of wins, as Macau and Saigon only have 11 wins to their record.
Wong Wei Long gets pressure, but they're not going to put it up anymore. That's what is after the buzzer. So our final score is 73-60. Emphatic win in a low-scoring affair for the BTN CLS Knights, and they are above the 500 mark at the most opportune time of the season.
Yeah. Hitting their stride mid-season to just 8 points in the final canto.
So again, our final score is actually 73-62 because there was a layup by Chris Eversley.
This is where it all begins. The leap of faith. The first step to the journey. Towards the unknown. The challenging. The daunting. But when we're together, hand in hand, the journey becomes exciting. We're partners, you and I, together, facing your fears, pursuing your passion, breaking boundaries, building your future, overcoming challenges, celebrating every achievement. When we're together, we're unstoppable. When we're together, anything is possible. At BTN, we know the power of partnership. A good partner works with you intimately. A good partner knows what you need. A good partner always has your back. A partner for starting your dream family. Building your dream home. Realizing the dream. It takes courage to begin, but it takes encouragement to keep on going. So go on. Dream big. We're with you every step of the way. You have a partner in BTN.